Let us not dawdle, for there are grudges to settle, and new entries in the Dammer's Cron to right!
Howdy howdy, Sudevil here, and welcome to a game featuring the Dwarfs versus the High Elves, being generaled by Eumaies, the keeper of all things written, the scribe of the Karazhan Corps, the dwarf who has the ultimate multiplayer guide for the Dowie, which I will link in the description below. If you haven't read it, go and read it. It's amazing from top to bottom. It is so thorough and so interesting. And you know, this army today is absolutely awesome, and the gameplay is fantastic as well. And you know, with this new meta, you know, they took master engineers and they dropped them by 150 gold. It may be worthwhile to bring a master engineer without his abilities just because he can be useful. So he's got two master engineers, and with the change to the Rune of Wrath and Ruin and Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin, you know, there's a lot of debate going on in the community, multiplayer community, of, you know, buff, nerf. It's definitely nerf something and buff something else, and it's hard to say what the net is, but I know I felt sort of the same thing as Eumaies, and I'm trying different builds. It's really unleashed my sort of thought process to think about different ways to do things, because other parts of the dwarf army are different or better or more interesting. And the fact is, here against the High Elves, we have two master engineers, both of them with no abilities. We do have Thorgrim Grudgebearer, and he has a pretty basic kit. He just has his Oath of Vengeance, minus 27 melee defense, the Foe Seeker for a little bit of speed, the Great Book of Grudges for that plus 9 melee attack, and he has a really heavy hitting core. He's going to use that 4 hammers. Very, very nice core. And in the back line, he does have some Dwarf Warriors with great weapons, and I believe some Longbeards. There we go. And he also has 3 Iron Drakes with Trollhammer torpedoes, which are very common. The 3 Iron Drakes with Trollhammer torpedoes are very, very common in this matchup. But the Master Engineers are certainly not common, and it's not common to bring a real brawling group like this. And he does have 2 Vanguarded Rangers. And you know, if you watch my channel, you know Eumaies does love to try and, you know, vanguard some things, or sometimes he comes in from the side. So, you know, really he tries a lot of different ways to sort of get in your face or get in your side, or to give you a different look once the battle gets engaged. And already he's got those guys shooting, and he's just pushing up. Now, it's an interesting High Elf army too. So this is a really melee centric army. 5 White Lions of Trace, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 4 Swordmasters of Hoeth. This is going to be an absolute melee brawl. In here, he's got Alariel the Radiant on foot, which is the way that I think she should always be brought, but just because there's no need for her horse. But some people bring her on her horse anyways. They say it allows her to get around the battlefield. Anyway, she has Star of Avalorn, Arcane Conduit for the increased power reserves and recharge rate. She also has Tempest. Guess what that's for? Minus 72%, minus 72 speed for 11 seconds. If you're in the air, and magical damage. That's to lock down a gyrocopter and kill it. She also has Earthblood, of course, for the heals, and Faw's Protection, 30 armor, 27 melee defense. Obviously, that's going to work very, very well for her Swordmasters of Hoeth. And in the back line, has 3 archers. Now, these archers are the cheapest kind. I think they're 475. Yeah, the 15 armor. They're 15 armor. They are quite vulnerable to the Dowie, but they have more range. They have 180 range. Yeah, 180. These guys only have 160, but Rangers do have 40 armor and a shield, so they're going to win that in general, that exchange. You know, Dowie backlines in general win all exchanges. So we're going to get this going, and we're going to watch this battle get started. So you can see Eumaies is kind of going to focus down here. He wants to get some shots in on these archers as early as he can. He is taking damage, but he's not losing models. He cannot stay here very long. These guys have 33 speed. These guys have 33. So you're going to see he's going to give the order to get out, and really he wants to just come forward and get this engagement going with his main line, and sort of start shooting with his Master Engineer. So he's going to get his get Thorgrim Grudgebearer up. He's going to get the so-called party started. He definitely wants to get the Iron Drakes Troll Armor torpedoes. You can see he's shooting in the Swordmasters of Hoeth. That's where he's trying to get all his shots in if he can. and he's going in real hard here with the hammers. He's already put some damage in with the Iron Drakes, put some damage in, and you can see he had got the Oath of Vengeance here. These guys have 27 less melee defense. So that's going to allow these hammers to go to work. Inside here, though, it's Dwarf Warriors with Lions of Trace. It's not going to end well for the Dwarf Warriors. But way over here, you can see a long ways for those units to flank. It's going to take a long time, and that's sort of, you can see, you know, experienced players generally don't, Dwarf players don't just align right up the middle. They usually align one side or the other. And that way you get these things. They take a very long flank. You got 3 full units that are still not engaged in the battle. And meanwhile, he's been able to route 2 Swordmasters of Hull with a White Lion and do some damage to this guy, and he's still fighting. Now, I'm going to slow this down a little bit here. You can see, tried to put the Star of Avalorn to save these guys. So, right here, eumaies has got a really important decision. He's taking shots for his Iron Drakes or from his backline from these archers. It isn't not really a big deal, but he's just, because he's won this battle, he's disengaged. He's brought the hammers around here to get after these White Lions. He's going to bring these hammers right here to get after the Swordmaster of Hoeth and White Lions of Trace. And he's actually going to bring these guys around like this. Really, because these guys are coming, actually should have brought them probably right through there. Just to really try and meet on that side. Not a really big thing, but I know you're going to watch here as sort of the battle develops, and how this pocket where we just won really hard is going to open back up for these guys to sort of come back through. So anyways, really the heroes so far have been these Iron Drakes with Troll Armor Torpedoes. They put in a ton of damage. You're going to see he's just switching them all to the Swordmasters of Hoeth, and I'm just going to let you watch, because they're going to turn. You're going to see what kind of damage that they can do. He's got 5,900 health, a full 774 models, and we've got 2 of the 3 sitting there, and the Master Engineer getting ready to shoot. So I just want to look at what that damage is going to look like when those guys get a full volley off. Oh, and they're not going to get one. Yeah, we're going to call that a volley. They got 10 kills in there. But anyways, fortunately the High Elf player does come in with both units into this group of Longbeards, so they're going to hold. They do have support here, but these guys are starting to rally. Swordmasters of Hoeth are rallying here. These guys are rallying, and you can see this full health group of hammers is kind of coming around here to help, and these guys are getting routed. So it really, really is tight right there. These guys have rallied back here. These guys are being pushed back. You can see here, though, he's got a nice line of sight. He's going to start taking shots. He's got 10 kills. Come on, take a shot. 10 kills. Boom, it's going to go in the side. 16 kills. He got 6 kills with 1 shot. If you can get him down the side, he can really do some work. Like, where these guys could be really, really good is bringing them kind of around the side. You know, around the side, so they can sort of get sideline shots here. Now, these Swordmasters are back. These Dwarf Warriors, we knew they wouldn't make it. So, he had to disengage. He had these hammers here helping. He had to disengage over here. Now he's going from winning this side to this being sandwiched. And these guys are all sort of stuck in this blob right here. He is definitely winning, but we've got this Master Engineer has been chased off by the White Lions here, and we've got 2 Master Engineers are going to now start shooting at those guys. They don't kill fast, but they have nice chip damage. And these Iron Drakes with Troll Armor Torpedoes, this is where things start changing, because these guys are absolutely fantastic, and they can even take some pressure from the air. They take a lot of missile pressure. They cannot take the pressure from the Swordmasters of Hoeth or these White Lions of Trace. So really, really bad. Now, he has got these Oaths of Vengeance to help kill the Swordmasters of Hoeth. They are trying to heal them, but you can see these guys have gone. They're coming back, and these guys are going to go. They're going to come back at some point, and these guys are trying to come back as well. But this is the so-called cookie jar. These 3 Iron Drakes with Troll Armor Torpedoes do so much damage that as soon as they're tied up, things are going to get very, very difficult. And you can see this rear charge, even though the Swordmaster of Hoeth were shattered, these guys charging in the rear were able to route these hammers here. So now this side of the battle line has been compromised, and this side is fine, but this is where the troops are coming in, right? So the front line is essentially the Dowie front line is over here, where the back line is here, but the incoming troops are right into the back line with no direct support. So you can see eumaies is going to try to unravel himself as fast as he can. You know, he's taking some shots. He's got these guys shooting into these. He's trying to stop trying to rout these guys. That's what he's trying to do. That's why he's trying to stand firm and take some shots and try and get these guys routed. But you can see he brought his Longbeards in here to stop the Swordmaster Hoeth. Not going to be able to stop the White Lions of Trace. These Iron Drake Trollhammer torpedoes are 26 speed. These guys are 33. I do not know exactly how these guys got stopped, but they stopped for a second. They're going to start getting shots in. So he's going to. He's like, okay, you stop. You're going to get killed. I'm just going to shoot everything I can at you right now. He's shooting at the Swordmasters of Hoeth as well, and he does have his Master Engineers here. And he has these guys can start to come back in. He's going to find a little bit of home for them right now. Now, these guys are all three taking shots at the Iron Drakes. Now, they have 19 out of 21 models. They will stand up to that pressure very, very well. They cannot stand up to the Swordmasters of Hoeth. So, these things have all been, all of front line of eumaies has really been hurt. We have one very healthy group of hammers, though. And that's it for the front line. They're going to come in onto the Swordmasters. And you can see what eumaies is trying to do. He's kind of come back. He's trying to find the right place and create a new pocket so we can just keep these Iron Drakes rolling. Really, that's what he's trying to do. And meanwhile, these Master Engineers, you can see they're just chip damage. They're just going after the Swordmasters of Hoeth, Swordmaster of Hoeth. Everything's kind of come in this pocket because the High Elf player wants to get a big heal. He has been able to rout these Iron Drakes, but these Iron Drakes are still going. And there's another group of Iron Drakes, I think, over here. Where are they? They're right here that have rallied. These guys are almost out of ammo. They're almost out of ammo. They're going to start shooting into these guys right here. The Star of Avalor has gone off, healing for a big amount, but Thorgrim's in there. Thorgrim is no joke, and he's buffing these hammers. There are still 38 models, and Thorgrim himself can dish out a ton of damage, and it's magical damage. So even Alarielle, she has for missile or physical resistance of 12%. That's not going to help her against Thorgrim, but you can see with the help of these Iron Drakes, Trollhammer torpedoes, Thorgrim and the hammers, he has been able to rout these guys again, and you can see eumaies is trying to head these guys off of the pass, and he's trying to shoot them from the side with both of his Master Engineers. They've been actually really nicely just getting chip damage from the side. These guys have been taking a lot of punishment from the missiles. In come these White Lions of Trace again. He's trying to get these hammers back in to deal with the infantry. You can see there are a lot of shatters going on now. These guys have come back twice and three times, and then that is the match. Absolutely love that game. Really, really fun. So different, right, from what you normally see. This kind of build has always been a potential to face as the Dowie, with just all infantry. You can see here, though, 2738 with the Master Engineers. At 600 gold, very reasonable. 525 gold for 21 and 29. 27 and 38 for an extra 75 gold. Plus, they do armor piercing in melee. Like bringing a naked Master Engineer might be a viable one of or two of, like eumaies has used here, because they can shoot things out of the sky. They're a little, can be a little bit more rugged. They have a decent enough leadership, and they do encourage. So, and then like most of their abilities are not that great, to be honest. But at least you can bring a naked Master Engineer, and that is a big, big benefit. Thorgrim, 19 kills. His buffs were definitely helpful. 16 and 7 with the Longbeards and the Dwarf Warriors are great weapons. They were just there to slow things down after the back line. The big heavy hitters were here with 64, 49, 30, and 81 with the hammers, and really 74, 66, and 123 with the Iron Drakes with Trollhammer torpedoes. Like, they're just so good, and they're so good in so many ways. Said that for quite a while now, that really it's Work Boss and eumaies. Work Boss was using these for a long time, but so has eumaies. They've all both been really big advocates of Trollhammers for forever, and I'm talking like 2 years now. It's been at least that long that a Worker Boss has been using them, and they're still good. They're just, you can see what they did. If they're not dealt, like they can be dealt with. Like, you can land some harpies on them, and it's just gonna muck them up. Bats, and there are a lot of ways to muck them up, and they are really susceptible to armor piercing chariots, infantry, and missiles, because they have no shields. But you let them go, and they're going to do some work. Now, for the High Elves, 1 kill for Alarielle. Really, for the White Lions, 77, 15, 38, 6, and 12. Swordmasters of Hoeth, 49, 49, 36, and 30. So the work that eumaies did to really focus those guys down made a difference. 32, 45, and 28 for the archers, which is actually pretty good for a 475 gold unit of archers that doesn't have armor piercing. So really fun battle, and I absolutely just love it. And this whole the changes that have been made. I mean, we're not far enough in to really tell exactly what's going to be, how things are going to end up, but I am absolutely loving the games I'm watching. So I'm already, it's funny, I was behind by 109 replays at the end of the last meta, and I'm already behind about 30 replays that have been sent in, and I watch them all right away, but I don't get to them, so I'm sort of in my head, I'm keeping a track of what people are doing and what people are playing, and the lot of people are playing different ideas, which is really fun to see. It's been absolutely beautiful to watch, and this is one of those ideas. And you can have a really fun brawl with the High Elves, and which is exactly what this was, like just a good old fashioned knockdown brawl. And it was awesome to watch. Anyways, love to hear from you down in the comments. I always ask for comments because that's my favorite part of doing this. Even if you're dropping it to say hi, I'll say hi back. With that said, I hope you found this interesting, and I will see you soon.